Alright, so hopefully we can just have that be the background. I should probably turn off the Facebook since it's blowing up over there.
And John Michael is joining us.
He is not able to make it today because his daughter just got into town, who he hasn't seen since Christmas. So, Anadara, you can be here till 10:45.
Yes.
Okay, so let's definitely aim to end by 10:30, so we can do like a brief introduction to you and. So, let's just start with a brief attunement, and it's 9:40, so I'd say like we could do 5-minute attunement and then 10 or so minutes of just the field and what's coming up, and then we'll get into doing the agenda for today. And I happen to record meditations lately.
So taking a deep breath, feeling your base of your spine grounded in this moment, this place, held by gravity, this unconditional force of love that holds you onto the earth now, as always, completely effortlessly. Allowing yourself to relax into that feeling of being held in this moment. Breathing into that. Visualizing the channel opening up through the base of your spine. All the way up your spine, at the top of your head. An open, receptive spaciousness. Your own unique conduit for the universal self. The spirit of all creation. And as you inhale, feeling that spaciousness expanding, any resistance, any distracting thoughts or feelings, just allowing them to go down into the earth to be composted. As you breathe into this open, spacious conduit within yourself, starting to notice a field around your body, like a sphere or a torus shape, vibrating with life force energy. As you bring your attention to this magnetic field of attraction that surrounds you always, choosing to infuse that field with your intention. Noticing what that intention feels like on a vibrational level in your field. Trusting that by vibrating that intention into this moment, that is what you are attracting to yourself and this collective. noticing how your heart responds to those intentions and this frequency. Allowing your body to relax, knowing that you are so held both by the earth and by this universal self that is available to you always. Just needing you to make space and remember to put your focus on that intention to be one with the spirit of creation. And then our next breath, expanding the field around your body to encompass this entire circle. Visualizing us co-creating a collective field of intention right now, unifying each of our unique energy frequencies into one amplified vibration, amplified by the unique diversity that each one of us is bringing, the unique gifts and flavors of our channel of that divine spirit of all creation. Feeling that.
So coming from that place of feeling connected with one another, open to all the support from the invisible realms, guiding us along this journey, slowly opening our eyes, and just sharing for 10 minutes or so what's arising in your awareness, your universal self, about this meeting today, this project, this team. I'm seeing a lot of light, like natural, but kind of cosmic light, like as if we were really close to a star. And that the light is like borderline like too much. It's not, because there's no such thing as too much light, but there's this like feeling about this light that it's just like, it's just so much light. And I see it kind of like fractaling off, like over, like around angles and stuff like that. And the feeling that I have, like the thought that I have about that is to get clear about like which fractals to focus on, so that it doesn't feel like we're having to hold it all at once or see it all.
I was definitely seeing that bright light too, and as you were talking about it, like the sun came out from behind some clouds and was shining really brilliantly into the room, and I was feeling like that was like, filling our field with more light, and also feeling that spaciousness coming into my life and creating space and time to get things done that are really important, and that there's plenty of time and space, and it's just a matter of focusing on those things in that moment that are really important and inspiring. focusing on light.
And I kept hearing maybe one. That's what Papa Kasha was. So I felt this energy come on. And it's someone he's here with us in this role. I also had this vision of a lion, just like came in. So anchoring in the courage and fierceness that's needed to carry the light, essentially. And then I did have a vision of a globe, and it was just beaming light out. And often I'm seeing now, I'm just seeing it wherever in my mind's eye, and just people posting things and hearing from others, and just like the heart lights, and just like everyone just beaming out, and just
Had a very same, I guess, vision of light that you're saying, as far as the sun coming in right at the same time, definitely in sync of being. And I had this explosion of heart light that coming out from my heart during the meditation. I'm not quite sure if they were fractals, but more glittery light energy, I suppose.
When Adara, you spoke about the lion, that came up the night before last. I was speaking with Alex about human design, and I actually think it would be really great for us all to know each other's human design and kind of understand that, because it does speak a lot to how we work together. And it's actually a part of the first module in the Deep Compass program. It includes exploring different assessments of who we are. But one of the things for me, it's always been challenging is I have this open heart center, which means that I don't really belong in any kind of small, like I'm not really somebody who belongs. And in a lot of the values work that I've done, it's also part of this discovery process. Belonging has never been atop of the list. Freedom or, expression or whatever expression of my truth has always been a higher priority than belonging. And the metaphor that I have for that is kind of feeling like a lion sometimes amongst sheep. And that I actually, even though I don't, like I kind of yearn for this community, I'm yearning for a community of lions, and I feel like that's kind of what we're calling together with these councils and with this work. We're bringing people together is the other people who are not wanting to belong and to conform for the sake of belonging, but who want to belong in commitments and values of truth and freedom. So I feel like I'm amongst lions, being here with you and with those who are going to join us.
I think we had that same discussion with the eagle metaphor as well.
And there's been visions of that in the practice. Like Connie has seen us all as eagles flying, so just presencing Connie and Andrew in this. And I just, as I said their names, like light just beamed up again, like they're almost in that corner, like, hi, Connie and Andrew, and Makasha, and Catherine.
Just now when you said that, and then earlier when she mentioned the passion, I got chills like all over.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, totally. It's really interesting. Yesterday I ate too quickly because I was rushing from one thing to the next. And I have this like piercing experience, like right in the center of my chest, like right where the chakra, the heart chakra. center is. And it's just such a metaphor because it's really, really painful. It's interesting, it's right in my heart. And it's about rushing and not taking my time. Just such the strong message I keep getting.
I feel like you took very good control of that yesterday when Allie was scheduling something with you. You told her, I need to get back to you and check my schedule. So I think you took control of that very well.
So I was really wanting to do this practice on Saturday night because we've been working till 2 a.m. We had this plan that we were gonna have like a ceremony. Oh, was that Sunday? Sunday. We were gonna have a sacred ceremony and really just go into the field and just be with spirit and just be in this sweet, sweet space. That was the intention.
Like channel from the universe, like where, like it didn't get this really robust channel, like we know where we're going, but even more clarity.
So we filmed all day, and that was the goal after the filming, was to allow that, maybe film a little bit when we were in that space. Well, I got sucked into my computer, and we did no ceremony. We worked until 2:30 in the morning, till we were grumpy, and my eyesight was blurry, and it was just like not good, It was just like not the truth of what we're here to do, and I was like crying, and I was really wanting to go into the field, and I'm like asking Alex, can we go into the field? Can we do this practice? And I mean, he kind of did, but there was too much charge, and it was just the two of us. So later, he was tired. So what I ended up doing was writing questions on a piece of paper, and I've done this before.
You basically channeled it in a totally different manner.
Yeah, I did the co-creative practice with Spirit, level 1, vertically, where I just asked the question and then let my pencil move, and it answered all my questions with such deep wisdom.
Yeah, and she's like, literally, I'm just like, how are you writing?
And I don't even think. I
Yeah.
don't think about what I'm going to write.
Yeah.
It just comes through, and the guidance and the wisdom is so true. And so when I asked about this taking on too much in the balance thing, it said to stop saying yes right away, and to have my answer to things be, I'll need to get back to you, and actually take some time to think about what really makes sense.
Is it figured
And to stop doing what, like I wrote in the email, what I should do. And like a big part of the truth that came through was that, like even, some business people who we've spoken with, Ali Shanti and whatnot, are like questioning our readiness, like questioning if we have the plan or if I have the plan or whatever. And like, questioning if we're gonna have enough time, and all this questioning based on these old ways that what normally works, what is the norm and what usually works. And the message that I'm getting is that this is not about like compromising the how that we're doing something, try to do something an old way.
That's part of an old paradigm.
Yeah,
This is part of a new paradigm, a new way of being. We're not going to know until we get on the road and make it happen.
Well, or that we already know.
Yeah.
Is more the feeling that I have, is that just by being as embodied and aligned with this work, even what I get is, even if we had no website, even if we had no flyers, like all the stuff that I prioritized, I got this weekend that was the old way. That's what you need in the old way. But that we're doing Spirit's work. And not that we can't do this as a part of Spirit's work, but that we need to trust that Spirit is actually co-creating this with us. And that things like miracles, like people's doubts and questioning, that's their deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. We can have compassion for that. We all have it. I have it sometimes too. But to not let that be what's motivating how we're approaching this work. And I feel like those of us who are on the core team and who are going to be communicating with people about that, we really are that vibrational field that's going to attract that. So the more that we can really remember and embody and remind each other. And I think I more than anything need to be reminded when I'm working like past midnight. Like, remember, this is the old way. Why don't you do some journaling to see if this is really in alignment right now?
What's coming through so strong is the vibrational communication, which, you know, the old way is, it's like setting up meetings, talking it out, telling people, and like, well, that's all beautiful and it probably will serve on some level, but it's just the knowing that we've created the field. You so beautifully have created this field, and this work to be, and we've already been communicating probably with other, you know, places, spaces, but not in the way that we can intellectually understand.
And then not verbally,
Yeah, it's
energetically.
literally, yeah, it's energetic.
Yeah, I thought I had a bird, but I don't know that. What I was just getting to is you were talking about the communication and how when we mention these other beings that are part of this with us, we all kind of feel that charge. And I'm just thinking about how many other beings are out there that are with us, and we're, you know, and we're just like only aware of it maybe on a subconscious level. And then also keep thinking about Makasha and Catherine, and the title of the workshop that we're going to is Living Co-Creation. And I feel like that's really what we're doing. We're learning to live this co-creative way, and it's about the way.
Yeah.
Right?
And on that note, I eagerly anticipate what's to become. You know, what other beings, you know, what other light sources out there are we going to magnetize into this field that we're carrying with us all the time. So I can't wait to find out what happens next.
And it goes back to what you were saying the night before, last Monday, before we came into the practice together. You kept talking about how the message for people is, you've been looking for us and we've been looking for you, you know, like, let's find each other. And in a way, I mean, it would be cool if that was even on the flyer.
That was part of our video we were going to do. So we need to really go back and do that at the right time, in the right moment.
Yeah.
Because we are searching for folks and they're searching for us at the same time. It's a matter of all the puzzle pieces coming together. We get creating the infinity puzzle that's going to continue expanding all the time. So I think we're missing pieces, or not missing pieces, but pieces continually come into the puzzle all the time, even without us knowing. Which even makes it more fun and mysterious. That's one of those things you almost want to keep on you all the time.
I've been
Hanging onto your body like this, it's always there. You know, you
I
always
know.
got it.
I've been carrying it around because it's handy too.
Yeah.
With Pierce, because he gets these little like
Little
inspirational
insights,
moments where he
yeah,
just channels through this like amazing stuff.
It's
So
cell
like,
phones do it, but they don't work as good as that. I was noticing about the way that it picks up on that when I'm going back and listening, and that thing is freaking awesome for a little tiny recorder.
yeah,
I mean, phones will do it, but that's badass.
yeah, I'm getting at
All you gotta
least,
do is hit
getting at least one more. I think the next one I'm gonna get stereo.
stereo.
Yeah,
I
so we
always
can
get
do
stereo.
record. This is good for voice.
I don't know.
Oh, so it's really
all.
cool.
Getting lots of encouragement in the field and the being.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of excitement.
Yeah,
you know,
that's it.
excitement and encouragement.
People resonating with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get going and see what happens next.
Cool. So just a process question. Last week you were taking notes. Did you ever send those or anything? Did you guys get them? I feel like you didn't. So just if you could take notes again and just make sure to email them as well as last week's, that'd be great. And like while you're getting that set up, I'm gonna just read two different writing samples that were submitted about the Co-Creators Lab on Wednesday. This is two people who could potentially be brought on to help with the messaging. So for the emails, the websites, the Facebook, stuff like that, which is an area that I really need help with. No one on the team so far has been like, yes, I want to do that. So that's the Rockstar copywriter piece. So here's the first one, and I'd love for you guys just to, you can close your eyes. I'd love for you just to listen to each of these two pieces, and more listen to it for like the vibration, that vibrational communication that's coming through. Get your opinions about which one, if either one of them feels resonant.
So these are two synopsis of last Wednesday, basically.
Not last Wednesday. These people have actually, they wrote this before they came. They just looked at the Facebook event
Okay.
description. So you don't need to email it right now. Just set up so you're taking notes, and then you can listen to these two.
I think
He's got it.
So yeah, so we don't have to go with either one of these two, but I'm just wanting to get your guys' input on the
So,
vibrational
I want to
communication.
make sure I'm understanding these are folks that came last Wednesday.
No, this is
So
people
this
who
is where I
applied for a
wanna-
job. This is just, we're just trying to get a feel for their writing style and how like their writing style relates to what we're doing. Are you feeling disconnected and out of touch with the rapidly changing world around you? Has your and without community? Do you seek to take your own personal growth to exciting new levels? Are you constantly starving for deeper connectivity but don't know where to turn? The Co-Creators Lab was created just for you. Born in the compassionate hearts of beautiful people like yourself, the lab was started to provide an outlet for developing your spiritual leadership in a dense physical world. We provide a safe space for you to share yourself and connect with countless others who share your fire for connectivity and conscious evolution. We invite you to join us on any of the days you see listed. Bring friends, and together we can experience the full extent of what we are destined to experience. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one. You are loved beyond your wildest imagination. Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you love to feel it? Here at the Co-Creators Lab, we are bridge builders. Everything you need is resonating within you already, but we tend to become accustomed to lowering our expectations. We grow complacent in dropping dreams, desires, and outrageous passion by the wayside. Not here, not anymore. At the beginning of the universe was chaos, yet galaxies were birthed, and the entirety of it all continues to expand. This power is the very basis of who you are. You are the spark, and we assist in tending to the internal fire, which, as a magnificent byproduct, provides warmth for many. Integrating dooby-dooby-doo until it sounds like scat singing, we seek to remember that jiving along is the only need, the only necessity. Join us Wednesday evenings this April and May at the Boulder Integral Center to release resistance, embody your intentions, discover your passion, and have fun. After all, that's why we're here.
I think I definitely resonate more with the second one, but also with both. I think there's portions of the second one. I like the second one more, but I think there's portions of the first that you could incorporate into the second one. And I know they're from two different people, so I don't know if that's okay. But I resonate with both, but more so on the second one.
Yeah, the content is not what we're choosing.
The second one, the first one seemed a little bit too ordinary and bland, and the second one seemed more in tune with our frequency. There at the end, I felt like it's
the first one, that guy that was in this circle. I like this the style of the second one better as well, although I think they're both pretty good.
Yeah, see, that's where I was at. Like, I liked them both, but I felt like the first one was a little bit too simple or something, you know? I like the simplicity of it, but that's where I was saying it could be collaborated with the second one to make the second one more specific or something on the second one. So,
I find the second one.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, just from an energy standpoint, I liked the second. The words for both, I I'd say the words for the second one were a little bit more resonant. It also felt a little bit more like poetic or something, which is kind of what Alex was saying in terms of
The writing style.
not having it be
Such a
bland and
simple-
ordinary. So okay, good. So I actually haven't followed up with her, but she's a friend who just moved. She's a friend of a friend who just moved to town, and she's young. I think she's early 20s. Then the interesting thing is Christopher, who wrote the first one, he has been a leader in the Occupy movement. So he built a website, not a website, like a Facebook page. He's built several for different issues, like renewable energy, for example, that have, I believe he said, like 20,000 likes. So he has a very, very broad network, and he also has experience with WordPress, which is the new website platform. I'm not sure if the younger woman who wrote with more of the vibrational frequency that we're looking at, if she has that kind of reach or that kind of experience. But I mean,
Is there a way to work with both?
So
That's what I'm saying.
what I want is to work with both. The question is, how can we approach that in a way that is efficient? Because he's most likely going to want to get paid, and most likely she's going to want to get paid too. So I don't want to spend too much more time on this.
Well, I
but,
think asking for people's volunteer in the beginning is key. You know, I think
that's
very
not
key.
how I positioned the request. It was that you're going to get paid.
So you position that to both of them.
It was a request. Yeah, because the reality is I posted that I was looking for volunteers, and with the exception of those of us in the room, not volunteers anyways, it's more just like invest your time up front. There's not a ton of interest. Although on that note, there are a couple people who responded early on. So this is a little bit of a tangent. Let's go back to the copywriters in a minute. But I posted the internship flyer, and Adara, I was wondering, it's not many, it's like 3 people. And it was actually the same post that you responded to in the beginning. So what I'm wondering is if you would be able to get their information and call them and do like a 15-minute phone call interview with them, telling them, acknowledging that we're behind, that we're just getting caught up because there's been just so much coming through at once. But I think you can speak to where we're at right now and what the experience has been for you being on the team. And we'll go into Podio in a little bit, but to find out, what their interests are, and maybe looking at the Podio of like all the tasks that need to get done after talking to them, kind of seeing if there's a way that you can plug them in.
And I don't think that in the communication with these folks that you want to say we're behind. I think you would just want to make sure to let people know that we are blowing up with creative
There's a lot
ideas happening
yeah.
all the time, and we need help with all these creative ideas. We're not behind. We're just exploding with creativity, and we need some more help to channel and
Let me
put all this
Let me
together
explain
the right way.
what I meant by behind. They received an auto response when they sent the email in that said we'll get back to you next week.
Yeah.
About a month ago. So
That's why
in
we're
that
behind.
regard-
Yeah. Sorry, we're so behind and getting back to you, but we're exploding with creativity
Exactly.
over here. There was a proper way of saying that.
yeah, and I mean
Because
it's not
that's
many,
funny.
and we may have missed it, but I think it's good practice because those are people who
Yeah,
we
it's
didn't-
just-
If you
We
didn't,
didn't do a lot.
if you missed it, but you're following up late, what if it really isn't good time? What if within the past week that person's gained some more knowledge or insight or something, or had an awakening over that past week? You
Yeah,
never know. Really.
absolutely.
I believe in good time.
absolutely.
Every day.
And if they're local, because they mostly were local, you could invite them to this meeting next week. And maybe let's do, like, if they're interested to experience the co-creative process, maybe get to meet them and really get the ball rolling in terms of delegating. But I think the meeting next week should be 2 hours.
And it would be
Oh wait, we're gonna be gone next week. Well, can we do the meeting next Monday? Can you do Mondays?
Yeah.
Can you do Mondays at all?
I don't
What?
know. I need to,
It just dawned on me that that's next week.
Yeah. Line of scheduling next week, but let's aim to do Monday or earlier. and invite them to come if they can, or maybe they could just tune in on the phone.
And I'm thinking maybe to call them today and inviting them for tomorrow night.
Yes.
Really, because that would
That
be
is a great idea. Very, very good idea. So action item for me is to get Adara the contact info ASAP. Okay, so going back to how to approach these two guys, I definitely feel like I need this kind of help. I need copywriting help. What I was thinking is so I offered this $100 starting bonus, which that's just what it is, you know. And so I feel weird about giving both of them the starting bonus. That feels a little bit weird to me. But I would like your guys' feedback because I did offer that. And Chris has expressed that he's like in a situation where he needs income right away and he's wanting $20 an hour. What I was thinking was to give Chris the $100 starting bonus and then to offer him $10 an hour up front for up to 10 hours for the first assignment. He's also open to doing per project fees, but I kind of feel like before we pick a per project fee, let's get him doing 10 hours, and I would probably put him on the website so that we can move the website forward using the content that we already have, because he knows how to do the website side of things. So 5 or 10 hours to get him started. If he's willing to do the 10 and 10 split, then doing 10 hours and then paying him the other 100 after the crowdfunding money comes in or we start selling tickets or whatever. And I just would love for you guys, you know, coming from that intuitive place in the field, like we don't have a lot of time to like talk this out in detail, but just intuitively, I know Al's wishing that we would just have volunteers doing this, but this is like a bottleneck to getting things out there. And I feel like I'm willing to pay $200 to get this happening. I paid $300 for the graphics and I don't want to publish the graphics until the copywriting is like really streamlined with everything else that we're doing. So, so that's what I'm thinking with him, and then maybe with Connor.
And by the way, it's free to copyright anything. Just so you know.
No, copywriting is with a W, not copyright like permissions. Anyway, so we only have like 2 more minutes to discuss this, but intuitively, any hits about.
So really bringing
I
him
see.
on, and then with the woman, just seeing if she.
You know what I would love is could I give you Connor's info?
Connor is the woman.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is the
okay.
one who I know. This is the one who wrote the second piece.
Yeah.
And could she be one of the people who called today and tell her, you know, we started working with another copywriter, but we're not 100% sure if that is going to be. But say we loved that the team just reviewed her writing and we loved her writing, and even though we can't offer her the $100 starting bonus, would she be interested in coming on Wednesday night or, you know, joining us for a call, something to see if we can
Yeah,
get
it's
her
an
woven in?
invitation, yeah.
Because to tell her, you know, even though we most likely have filled that copywriter position right now,
You might be more
he might need help.
No,
we
he
really,
does
and
need
we
help.
really love her writing
No, he
style,
does need help.
and to find out what her hourly rate would be.
'Cause
or
he-
if
he
she's
has a
interested
very
in even
similar
volunteering. And I
thing.
think-
Not only like her style better, so if there's a way to combine the two.
Yeah.
And I think there is. Yeah, I think there's a way to use his skill set and also her skill set, and that's all part of the co-creative process. You know, it's like it's not just one. Let's let everyone contribute to their own skill set.
And on the piece about me getting Adara what she needs for this, can you put something about the Soul Tribe background? I don't know if you read the Soul Tribe background info, but it speaks a little bit to and actually some of the other emails do too, speaking to the different levels of roles on the production team. Do you remember that one? That
Yeah, I have it
talks
all.
about different percentages. So that would be a good starting point conversation with people to be like, this is how we're asking people to come on. You know, if this is something of interest to you, and if you're playing more of that role that isn't directly leading to registrations, which is how they make commissions, what would your hourly rate be, or you know, what kind of stipend would you like, knowing that this is a nonprofit startup that's just getting going. That'd be great.
what time I mean, is there a process that has to happen to get the contact information for the people that were interested? I mean, is it just on?
It's actually in the Soul Tribe Activation Gmail account. Which, have you guys been to Podio? Because this is a good transition to Podio. Podio is really what I wanted to spend the rest of the time focused on.
I have no idea what Podio even is. I've got updates on my email.
Okay.
And I haven't had time to even look at them. So I could do some schooling.
I did get on there, and I think I set up my profile.
Okay. So, this is funny, the screen sharing video, because we're looking at,
It's open heart. And is it still 0-8 Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 8 zeros. So 4 zeros. Right? Bob.
you guys should see what it does when you put the Hangouts screen. It is so funny. Okay, so this is great. So this is what we want to show. Is this Podio. And actually, if I could have you guys all gather around here. Have you already looked at it, Jim?
I just got one.
Okay.
But I didn't look at it this morning, but I went in and set it up when you sent the invite.
Very good, very good. So everybody should have an invite in your inbox. And when you go, I don't know exactly what it looks like when you first get started, but you want to go up here to this thing called, well, right now it says Activation Tour, but if I go to Podio, this is the home screen, you want to choose a workspace and go down to the Activation Tour, which is where we're keeping track of everything. And then the main things to look at here are this list of projects, which projects we're really not going to add much to. This is pretty much everything that needs to get done, all the categories. And this is a way to categorize so that if you went into, let's go into tour logistics, for example, as the project area. You click it, then all of these are live. You can, add anything. You want to assign this to someone. So maybe Adara's on that, or John Michael will be, we'll see. And this is what I was asking you guys to do, is if you could go through each of them, and if it's something that you want to be involved with, you could add yourself to it. Or you could just write an email. But if you go to related items down here at the bottom, that's going to list up all of the deliverables and tasks that are related to that particular project. So that when we go to deliverables, which is a lot more detailed, you want to go to show all. Sometimes it'll just show you parts of it. These are all of the things that are kind of action items. So again, it's kind of the project reference, so it relates to those projects that we just looked at. The deadline, who's responsible for it, what phase it's in, whether it's completed, not started, working on. There's even a place to track like how much progress you've been making on it. And also when you're in Podio, you can view things lots of different ways. So right now it's in table. And what's cool about table is you can actually click the heading of whichever column and it auto sorts. So you can see like which phase, or you could sort by owner to know, which things aren't Lotus. And then there's badges, which are just, I don't know, that looks pretty random to me. That doesn't seem that helpful. Cards is helpful. Cards, you can organize it. Right now it's organized by projects, right? So all of the deliverables that are underneath each one of those. So this is really just a matter of like how you prefer to look at it. And if you want to look at it not by, so right now the columns are based on the project reference. Let's do it deliverable owner. So then this is each person's name. So these are the things that Adara wants to do. So this is similar to the table,
but it's just a little bit of a different format to be able to look at it. So again, you can just click the name deliverables up there in the menu to get you back to this listing. I like the table personally. There's also calendar and whatnot. And eventually, maybe next week, we'll learn about how to do reports, but that's a great way to be able to like track what the whole team is doing.
Update what's been done.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
on
the
the-
table?
mhm.
Yeah.
So you'd go here,
I like the
switch
format a lot
layout,
better.
and do table. So just click any deliverable, you know, or if you wanted to create a new deliverable, let's go back to that. Again, hit the menu. You add a deliverable here. But let's just go to one that already exists. And so again, the completion deadline, the status, this is the progress. So what is this? This is develop ticket pricing and descriptions. I'd say we're like 2% into that. No, we're further. We're at 25%. And I mean, that's just obviously, how do you know? But it's just kind of where you're at.
Just a gauge.
And then what's cool is that, okay, so to develop ticket pricing and descriptions, let's think of what a specific task would be for that. So a task would be to update, to post them on the website. So who's going to do that? This might be Christopher, you know, but right now I'll just leave it blank or put myself. Due date this Friday, you know, and then you could write details about task. So this is granular so that you can have the project high level, you can have the deliverables, which is kind of like, okay, this is this overall like step in the sales and outreach and marketing process. Both of these projects need this to happen. What is like one of the next steps that needs to happen? Oh, it needs to be posted on the website.
Okay.
But you could do ultimate, you know, as many as you want. This is going to be a really great way for us to be able to manage teams, to know who's doing what. So this would be something that, you know, in the beginning when somebody's just coming on as a volunteer, I would say that they probably, you would more be managing the
This
Podio.
and not have them come on to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if it seems like they're playing a bigger and bigger role,
Yeah.
eventually we would want to probably show them this video and have them
Yeah.
using Podio. But the reason why it started, so again, you can use this as a menu to go back to the activation tour. You could, this is kind of like a Facebook wall here. You could be like, we are using Google Hangouts for the first time. Yay. So it's kind of like a Facebook thing so that everybody, when you go to yours, will see what people are doing here.
Okay.
You can also download a Podio app and Podio chat app. Let's not talk about the chat app though, because I think we should use Facebook for chatting. But you can download a Podio app so it's on your phone. And you can set yourself reminders for things. So like we just did the task down here. Oh, I didn't do that task. Let's just do a task, test task. Due date today. And then check this out. See right here?
This needs a start date.
Remind me the day before. But you can do it as, you know, small down at, you can as detailed as a time. It could remind you at noon next Tuesday. So this is just a really helpful way that, again, if you have your phone, have the Podio app, you'll get a ding as if you're getting a text message reminding you about things. So you can put meetings in, stuff like that. There's actually a whole other piece with calendar that we'll do a training about next time. The reason why I brought this up, and there's the calendar actually that has the tasks starting to be on that. I'm not in a workspace anymore. I must have clicked Podio. So
and then it's okay. Yeah, it comes up.
yeah, and you can comment. You can like. You can create a task from it.
So it's kind of like Facebook in that regard. I wanted you to see this right here. This is the account information for the Soul Tribe Activation Gmail.
Okay.
So when you go to Podio, and this would be a great place, like we're going to end up having the WordPress login and the Eventbrite login and anything that we have, account information is here. So let's load it. And if you wanted to edit it to add more, you just do like that. And this is all secure, and we're only going to let people who are on the team do it. So feel free to keep stuff there. And it's just a great place to have a central location. If you'd rather create a Google Doc for it, that's possible too. And then here, you could add another text box. So we might want to add this text box of links to important Google Docs. And then test link 1. So you can just click that box. So then that way, you know, you can just have things on the home page. We could even have like an exciting message, you know, inspiring message on here. So what I would love everybody to do is to go through each of these projects and either make a note directly in it where you basically put your name, or if you don't want to be like a lead for it, which most likely most of you are not going to be the leads for stuff, I would go to you could add a comment over here. So like, I'm interested in helping with sales by ... you know, whatever it is. So you could write a little comment over here so that the project manager would be able to see, oh, Lotus is interested in helping with sales in this particular way. So that would be the best thing to do for projects. And then again, with deliverables, which there's also this menu up here to go straight to deliverables. And projects also has different views. Send out Facebook message to recruit potential partners. Well, we're all doing that.
We're all doing that.
You know, so let's just put our names directly there. That way it's going to show up for us on our Podio and with reminders and stuff like that. So you could go ahead and do that. But again, if you're like, I'm not sure, you could say, I'm interested in editing the email the message before it goes out. So this is a way that we can communicate with the team about
specific
progress. Like I can put a link here, or even a file. I could put a file of the photo that you want people to link. So this is just a great way that now that we're going to get more active in working together on this to be able to manage all the different moving pieces and communicate in a centralized place.
Yeah, it's a really great platform.
So helping with Podio is the first, and I think we can work together with that if you have questions. But what I showed you guys is basically all you really need to do. And then the last thing, that this is more like what I would assign us all. Well, the two last things. So you guys saw the thing about the last co-creators lab. So
yes,
if we can
I am able to come.
You can?
Coming.
Yay!
Tomorrow, so.
Awesome.
And when is your time?
Very exciting. Wednesday, babe.
So tomorrow at what time?
It's 6 o'clock, as always, the same as every week. And then the last thing I just want to do, and I'd rather, I would rather, instead of us doing this right now and getting feedback, because you have to go, just to talk about some of our thinking with the logo and imagery and how we can get your feedback as soon as possible, like ideally in the next 24 hours about the different things. So here's the logo.
Ta-da.
Oh, it looks backwards. Oh, shoot, you'll have to see it. So some of the thoughts that I'm having, so we won't always have color. And I really like, I don't know if you know, Parabuilding, the nonprofit, Alex's nonprofit that's sponsoring us. This is the Parabuilding logo. And the icon is actually the same. It just has different center. So where Alex's Parabuilding logo has a star, ours has the people with the flower of life and a heart in the center with kind of like the planet behind it. So I'm considering using actually white, like Alex's logo, which could also be black if it's on a white surface or something like that, as another alternative, so that it's not always this like really super colorful. And I've done just a mock-up of that and it looks really good. So I just would love your guys' thoughts. Like, should we do the rainbow and the color at all? And if we do, should the words be black or should we do the words colorful? And just what are your thoughts? Like, the font could totally be changed. The image itself is not going to be changed this time around. It's not like my favorite perfect vision of the design that I wanted, but it's good enough for us to push go on it. So if you could give feedback about that as well. And then the flyer, here's 2 different versions of the flyer. So there's the full page version and the quarter page version. And they're going to be printed differently, not so much white space. But what I would love is for you guys to think about, the first thing would be the words. The first thing would be the words that are on it and anything that you'd want to suggest changing. The second thing would be the design. Like, I personally don't really like how these words here are
all
over the blue in the background. So it's like, I'm thinking either make them easier to read so they're on white or get rid of this blue background to some extent. So those are like little design elements. Or you might like all the pictures except one. And so if you don't like that one picture, you know, what do you guys think about it? But otherwise, I pretty much like it. We don't currently have permission to use this image that Alex was saying is what he used for the video. This is someone else's image that I took off of Facebook. And the designer thinks that it's fine for us to use it. The designer thinks it's fine for us to use it without permission for flyers, but he doesn't think it's as good for us to use it because I want to have the same header on the Facebook as the website, and ideally on the flyer too. So we could possibly get permission. I started looking into it and I couldn't find like who the ultimate person to ask would be. And that's not really something I want to spend time on. So if anybody is interested in helping with that, that is an action item to like research this image and find out. And I can teach you how to do that a little offline. But then he also created, and this is a really small version of it. And actually let me screen share and show you the actual full-size image because it's good.
This is David.
His name is Davin Infinity,
yeah.
And he is great. He actually, you know Davin.
Yeah, I know Davin. Yeah.
He's part
That's
of the
David,
Co-Creators, Co-Creative Leadership Movement, and is doing a lot of really great work. So this is the image that I liked the best of what he created, that we own. Basically, we have the rights to use this in any way that we want. So this is what I'm envisioning using on the website, which I'll just show you guys really quickly. The website is still, oh, I forgot to present everyone. So that's the image that we're talking about using because we have the full rights for that. Another thought is, the entire screen. Isn't that funny how it does that? Okay, so Lotus. So here's the current website. Like I said, it's still a work in progress. But see how that image is like the first thing that you would see on the website. And that could be smaller. So I'll show you guys kind of what it would look like on a smartphone. So this is just kind of the beginning of the website.
Is that part actually live now? Because last time I went there, you had to go down in the right-hand corner and see what is new or check out the old site or something.
Yeah, right now I have like a splash page up, and I'll show you what that looks like too. But this is currently what the website is. So, you know, talking about the tour, people would click, and then there'd be about the tour. then this is a little like intro about Harmonious Humanity. Click, see more about it. And then this part down here is actually what I want to put on the Harmonious Humanity, like about Harmonious Humanity page. And this is coming from that email that I sent you guys. But doesn't it look good? See how it's like all animated, and we can change these icons, but I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the logo at the top too. It's no matter where you scroll, it's
Yeah.
always up there.
Yeah. So we just have to think about like colors. Like, does rainbow look good with this turquoise? I mean, I think
I think
rainbow
every
actually
color
kind of
is
makes
good.
every color work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this is hopefully what I'll be getting Chris's help to build, but I'm really excited about the website. And I guess while we're doing screen share, the last thing I'll show you guys is just, if this will work, one of the video projects that I'm the closest to finishing. 2 minutes.
It is creating the network. It is knowing who's out there doing it. And for me, the most exciting project that I feel is coming is visionary cultural experiences within festivals that actually build an infrastructure for us to live like this, because I think we're ready to live the festival life, this life of celebration.
Forever
And-
festies.
Yes, exactly. And live together. And that's where we become harmonious, is when we use the models that have come out of the mainstream and reevaluate how they can actually build an infrastructure for the visions we have of living.
Okay, that's obviously too long. I don't know what's happening now. Because it's supposed to be this stuff now. Something with playback. Oop. Huh. Okay, anyway, you guys gotta
It is creating the network. It is knowing who's out there.
Anyway, you guys got a feel for that. So I need help. I'm not like doing great at, oh, I should have said present to everyone. Ah, you guys didn't get to see that. Here we go. By you guys, I really mean John Michael. All right, let's go to this project. And if we just watch it from, you guys saw this.
Come out of the mainstream and reevaluate how they can actually build an infrastructure for the visions we have of living.
Oh, the clip is missing. That's where it was causing us a problem. So then here's just the closing slide. That talks about how it's a project of building. Yeah.
And do you want me to send you an email
Can you
on
put that
things
as an
that I
action
need done instead of telling you? Do you want me to itemize and email it to you? Like, where's your external hard drive, logo, email to me, where's
Yeah.
your website going live, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, there's things I have questions and I can just itemize that on the email to you.
Yep, that sounds great.
But I've got to enjoy because I've got a lot of things I have to do right now.
Okay, so blessings. Thank you. Love you.
Good day.
You too.
So, Jay,
What were you saying? There was something about this you needed help with?
No, I was just
Oh,
gonna. I was just telling you to make note
Have
of
a nice day.
whatever that was.
Enjoy the
I had
sun.
this email.
Thank you.
Oh,
You
it's
too. Son, get some sun.
Okay. Bye, John Michael. We love you.